Hello, everyone. Once again, this is Dare to Speak. I really want to make a very strong point that I'm not necessarily, a very rude person. I might say some comments that might be very rude. And sometimes I would say things that I should say more clearly and stuff like that. Like, for example, it was brought to my attention from one person who told me when I was at that building where I can't say what this building is, that they were having this carry concealed weapon class, and how the guy who was teaching the class was a big time asshole, and I could just tell from him and from a few of the people there, even though they were all white. But I just felt this vibe from these people that they were like one of those crazy type of I have to protect myself because everybody's a criminal type of mentality. Anything could happen to me. This person might have a gun. This person might harm me. This person might have a knife. This whole psychotic vibe that I was getting from all these people. And that could just, I'm not going to say that that 100% for sure they're racist, because I honestly don't really quite know. But one of the people from that class, I heard talking in the bathroom. When I was in the bathroom, I was washing my hands. He came in, he was talking to somebody on the phone, and he said something that I thought was offensive. I pretended that I didn't hear him. I just pretty much ignored it, and that was it. And he looked like one of those. He was in his late 50s, early 60s. No older than 60, I would think. 55, maybe at youngest or something. I don't know. And he looks like one of those type of the way he was dressed, like, and the way he expressed himself like that, like he probably was, maybe he used to be in the army or whatever like that, a veteran or whatever like that. But the way he actually, his mannerisms and his expressions and the things that he said on the phone when he was talking to his friend, he said something that was really offensive, and I can't really say what it was. But I got the actual vibe that he was actually racist or prejudiced at some level or whatever. I kind of suspect, because I got that hostile vibe from this guy. Now, the rest of them, just seeing the looks on their faces, and of course, when I said that they're all white. I'm not trying to say that white people in general were like that. I'm not trying to say that. I even made it clear that not all white people are racist, but particular white people that are racist are like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but a vibe that you actually get from these people. And even though I haven't come across any serious racial bigotry that often, on that day, the guy that was being very rude, pretty much said that, the way he was talking down to me, like I was a punk, and there was no need for him to talk to me that way. Like you don't belong here, kind of type of vibe and stuff like that, and pretty much stereotyping me. I think that was the whole thing. Now, one thing that I also want to point out, and I'm not saying this to be racist against blacks or to be racist against my own kind, Hispanic. To me, everybody is fucked up. There's skeletons in their closets from every race. It doesn't really matter, or issues, I should say, issues from every race. Whether it's racism, whether it's narcissism, whether it's being quick-tempered and arrogant, that could happen with anybody. Everybody is fucked up. Everybody at some level, some worse than others, have that sour attitude, that aggressive type of arrogant attitude, narcissistic and stuff like that. Every race, any race is capable of that. They're all capable. They're all capable of it. Now, again, I'm not trying to talk shit. I'm just trying to make a very good point. And the point is this. Something that I noticed even when I was growing up about how Hispanic people view whites. And I've seen a lot of that stuff. I mean, not all of them are like that, of course. Not all Hispanics hate white people or whatever. But I noticed a lot of that. I don't trust them. They all think they're better than us, kind of thing. I even heard a lot of my Hispanic friends that I grew up with say some shit like that. And there was no need for it. There was no need to talk that way. And I could just sense a form of what I would say jealousy, in my opinion, jealousy, and a great deal of resentment. Now, at some level, in some way, they do have a logical argument. They do have a convincing argument, but they love to exaggerate. They exaggerate like crazy about the stupidity of what white people do that's considered racist towards blacks and Hispanics. And to me, it's just very fucking stupid. It's very stupid the way they just portray white people in that kind of sense. Especially the ones that are suburban. I mean, yeah, I came across suburban snobby white people before. When I moved out of the ghetto and I moved into a better neighborhood, I came across like at least 3 different families. One couple with just one kid. This one guy, he was like that. I mean, even though he was cool with me, there was a little bit of aloofness because of the fact that I was Hispanic, and because I fit the stereotype of a ghetto, I don't know, like I'm capable of being no different than those criminal type thugs or something like that. And it's also very stupid the way. And I mean, he was an asshole. He was okay at times, but he was an asshole. He was like, I make so much money. I'm this narcissistic attitude and shit like that. But at the same time, what I noticed a lot from blacks and Hispanics, especially even now, after all the things that have been happening with the Kyle Rittenhouse situation, with the Jacob Blake and the George Floyd incident, and with the way the protesters are behaving, how they have people that take things too far in their ranks, as well as opportunists that are just like wreaking havoc, expressing their anger in a very stupid way, instead of doing it in a very subtle way like Martin Luther King would do it. You hardly ever see that type of positive protests. To some degree you see it, but it's mostly violent, to express their anger through hate and violence. Like we haven't learned to fucking grow up. There is one thing that this one black woman said about her own kind. To me, she's black, even though she has a Spanish last name. She might be part Hispanic too, for all I know. I would think so. But what she said made a great deal of sense to me, and that also applies to Hispanics. It seriously applies to Hispanics. So if you watch this part, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know someone's going to say, "You're tearing black women down. Now, what's your solutions?" The solution is be quiet. The solution is close your mouth. The solution is stop arguing, stop fighting, let go of your anger, and be quiet. If you spend less time talking and actually listening to what the men are saying, you'd peak game. Because they're not telling you what they exactly want you to do, but they're telling you what they'd expect from you as a woman. And you're too busy being a hate monger and a brat to absorb it. Black men in general are tired of us. This argumentative thing you've got going, which, by the way, you don't pull with white men, is pushing black men away from you, and it's not getting you anywhere. This is one of the reasons we got a race full of baby mamas, and 50% of black women have herpes and no husband. At this point, black men are just tolerating us. They love us, they want to produce black families, but let's be honest, we've been overrun by hood rat slut culture, and as a whole, we are an undesirable group of women. My question is, why? Why are you so angry? What makes you so uptight you can't let anything go? Everything you see, everything you don't like, you have to comment, you have to go ballistic. Why? You see a comment online you don't like, you flip out on that person, and everyone who agrees with them. The problem is, you don't like yourself. We have the lowest self-esteem as a group. And the sad part is, a lot of us have no purpose because we don't even know why we were born. How many black children do you know that were born for a reason other than Mom got knocked up and didn't abort me? I don't care what white women do, and I don't care that white women do it too, because their bastard baby rate is not 75%, so I don't care. We wander through life aimlessly. We have no direction, no legacy, no wealth, no decent maternal figure to teach us decorum or how to be sexually responsible, and no parents to leave us anything. There's no point and no direction. We have all the time in the world to sit on the internet and argue and yell and scream and go on an hours-long tirade with people we disagree with.
Now, in my honest opinion, in my strongest of honest opinions, she does have a very good, valid point. Why so many black women are angry is because of the reasons of what she just said. And I noticed that a lot with not just with blacks, but also with Hispanics. Even with when they argue amongst each other. I noticed that in high school. Every now and then I noticed that in the working place, especially in the working place, when I used to work at a casino. Whenever arguments will bust out, they like in a break room, either two blacks or two Hispanics, or a black and Hispanic when they're very fucking ghetto, or even a little bit ghetto, with their ghetto attitude and their mannerisms, and then because that's a lot of their culture. I mean, it's where most of us are come from. That, you know, that's how it is. But not everybody is ghetto bound. You know, that word I would use. They would argue with each other. They would banter, and then one of them would raise their voice over the other one, and then she would raise her voice over her, and then they would just go like, "Oh, fuck you," and this, and then they move their heads this way, or they would just that stupid body language that they do, which is just so fucking annoying. It's just so annoying. It's very sad to know that that is the reason why they're so angry. They want revenge for being born. To be unfortunate to be born into an unsavory family that's dysfunctional, to be born into an unsavory environment, which is not their fault. It's not the fault of anybody. Black, white, Hispanic, it's not their fault. It doesn't matter. But it is their fault if they constantly complain and they do not fucking grow up. And they constantly show their hate against white people from the suburbs. They think they're better than us, and they do this, they do that. Okay, yeah, I understand that there's some that are like that, or maybe even a lot of them. But to say that all of them are like that, that's just fucking stupid. But they just love to fucking complain, and they love to fucking argue. They love to gain the moral high ground in a very narcissistic and arrogant level. And I've seen that a lot, even with my own family. Like, I have a relative of mine, I'm not going to say who she is, but we went to Gen Con, which is, for those of you who know what Gen Con is, there was this one woman. I went there with this relative, and her attitude is she's a good person, but she does have a few issues, some serious issues. And there was this one lady named Voodoo, a character from a comic book, I guess, or something like that. I have the picture, but I was trying to fucking find it. But yeah, it was also, I guess, in my in one video. But anyways, she was there signing autographs and taking pictures with people, and she was white, and she was fucking gorgeous. I took a picture with her. I held her, like that. We're standing side to side and taking it while they were taking a picture of us. And of course, I liked the way she felt, and I didn't want to let her go, kind of thing. But she was gorgeous. But before I actually got a chance to take a picture with her, she was like bending over to sign, write something on to sign the autograph. And then this relative of mine was right next to me, and she was about maybe 16 years old when she was with me. And she looked at her and she says, "That girl needs to get up. That girl needs to get a butt. She has no ass." So I'm like, keep your voice down. What's wrong with you? Don't talk that way. I think she did have a nice ass. I mean, it's not that voluptuous type of ghetto booty like the way a lot of these blacks or Hispanics considered to be a nice ass kind of thing. And how they criticize white women for having flat butts. I mean, there is a lot of truth to that. It's not completely true, but they like to exaggerate on their body parts and criticize everything about them just so they can make themselves feel better about themselves. And that is very stupid and childish. And she didn't think that she was gorgeous at all. She said that she was ugly. And I don't think she was. I want to give one more try trying to find the fucking picture. I know I have it here with me somewhere. But she loves to complain and criticize white people from the suburbs, especially. And I noticed that a lot also with other relatives when they not with the racism, but with that need to compete against another person. They're very competitive. There's friends and relatives out that I have that are like that, and they like to show off their machismo, their type of attitude to an arrogant level. And a lot of it has to do with the way they were brought up, and also, I suspect, genetic in a sense too. But their environment and the way they behave and stuff like that. And I never found it savory to condone it or to even take part in it. I never really did care for it. And because of that, I was always seen a little bit as an outsider. I was even called a sellout at one point because I was too laid back of a ghetto person. I was just very, very laid back, or a ghetto snob, or what I was also called. But the thing is, the complaining is just, it's annoying and it's irritating. I mean, there is no need for that. No need for that whatsoever, and it's just stupid. It's just how it is. That's how it is with blacks, according to her, and I agree with her. And that's how it is according to me when it comes to Hispanics. Excuse me. When it comes to Hispanics in that sense. I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm not trying to be, a traitor to my own kind or something like that. Because I do have a lot of Hispanic friends that I grew up in the ghetto that I'm still friends with. And they're, some of them used to be Latin kings. They got out of it. That I grew up, JKs. Some of them used to be just regular people that I went to high school with. And they made something of themselves. They never complained and this and that. And they couldn't stand the whole ghetto trash, thuggish kind of crap that they grew up with along with me. And they made something out of themselves. They grew up in the ghetto with me, and they actually did something with their lives. And like I said, there's racism and there's bigotry from any race. It doesn't fucking matter. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Questions or comments, you know what to do. And this is Dare to Speak. And to all of you, take care.